365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Okay. The background still up. Let me get this off. Okay,
what's going on, Marcus?
Man? How you feeling, Con?
Hey, the Con man, you know me. I'm good, my man. Glad we both can come on tonight and talk some NBA, my man.
Man, that's what we're about to do too. So let's go ahead and kick it right off, Con. So right now, some of the hottest takes that's going on around the league right now is, I'm assuming, LeBron's legacy if he wins a scoring title. So how would that necessarily affect his legacy or impact his legacy, whether good or bad, considering the fact that the Lakers right now, they're just pathetic. I mean, there's no other way of putting it. And LeBron is showing out. But how would that actually help or impact his legacy if he happens to win the scoring title this season?
In my opinion, Marcus, not at all. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, absolutely not at all. Winning the scoring title, I mean, it says a lot, the fact that he's played so many years and has been effective. But to me, it doesn't really affect his legacy in any way, shape, or form. He's played 19 seasons. He's had to have his career averages of 27 points a game, 7.5 rebounds a game, 7.5 assists per game, 17-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, 4 MVP awards, 4 Finals MVP awards, 4 NBA championships. I think that speaks for itself. As far as winning another scoring title, Marcus, that's good. That might be good, for his own ego, maybe. But as far as his legacy has already been set in stone. And you mentioned about the Lakers. They just pulled one out tonight.
Oh, did they?
They barely pulled it out. And I'm going to say something. I'm probably going to get the viewers a little mad. But West Brick, I think that's his name. West Brick. He took a shot coming down to the wire. They were down by 3. He goes and takes a 3-point shot and hits the side of the backboard.
So he pulled a regular Russell Westbrook pretty much all season.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But what happened, I got to give him credit tonight, Marcus, because they came down directly after that particular play, and he comes down to hit a 3-pointer to tie the game. And they ended up winning. He ended up with 20 points. LeBron got 36. And so they end up pulling up at least a victory tonight anyway.
In Toronto.
Yes, correct.
Right. So going back to LeBron, and to me, it's not going to impact his legacy because all the stats that you just named off, all his accomplishments and everything, even if you're playing in year 19 right now, anything that he gives you is just a bonus. Whether he's win the scoring title, not get to the playoffs, not playing, not like I think at this point, he's just playing to be playing, kind of like Tom Brady. So whatever they give you, as of right now, is all bonuses. Like, because nobody right now really want to see LeBron lead the game as of right now, because I think he still got another good 3 years left in him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 3 years. So even with that, he probably have a chance to win another scorer title, probably even another championship, depending on what they do this offseason with the Lakers, or even if he, choose to get traded or move on. So I think he got another 3 years left. Probably not scoring 50 points a game or, averaging 29.3 points a game.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I think if he drop off, it's going to be to like 25 points a game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. But that's still better than any All-Stars that's been around. He's still putting up great numbers.
And the thing, too, Marcus, is we have to realize he does have an ulterior motive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar. He wants to break the all-time scoring record.
Right.
Held by Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So he has that in his eyesight that he definitely wants to obtain. So I think that's what is giving them some boost, even though they're playing so bad. But the Lakers right now, Marcus, I got to keep it real. They're going small ball for the most part. They really they're not quick. They're very slow. Now, let me ask you a question. When you watch the Lakers, and this is what happens, LeBron's at the point, and they have Greaves, and they have Carmelo out there, and everybody swung out to the wings. No inside effect whatsoever. No rim protector, not anything that's going to help them out as far as rebounding is concerned, either on the offensive side or the defensive side. And because of the team that they put out there right now is so slow, they're not reacting to the ball at all. I don't know if they just lost their will. I don't know, but I've never seen the Lakers play this bad in my life.
Well, see, here's the thing when it comes to that is at a certain point, age catches up to everybody.
Absolutely.
And then you're dealing with, LeBron 19th season, Carmelo 19th season, I believe, too.
Mm-hmm.
Then you still got these young guys that still don't know their rotations or anything like that. And then you got Westbrook that's out there half-heartedly doing anything. But normally, I used to love watching Westbrook play 110% when he was at OKC, going down, all that good stuff, driving, using. But with Westbrook, it's like once your athleticism going, it shows. And he, outside of not having his athleticism, he's like me and you right now. Hell, you could probably go out there and do what Westbrook do. I know I can't do what he do, so let me not put myself in the category. But I'm quite sure I could go get you 4 or 5 shots and airball probably 3 of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's doing a lot more than that.
Right.
But I think the fact, Marcus, is the fact that my man's making over $40 million per year. And then when you play under that microscope, which is the Lakers, it adds more pressure on you. Plus, he's playing back at home. So I think he has all that to consider. The fact that he's playing with the Lakers, the fact that he's home, and the fact that he makes $40 million a year. It's a lot of pressure. He didn't have to deal with that when he was at OKC. He didn't have to deal with it when he was at Washington. He didn't have to deal with it when he was with the Rockets. But when you're playing with LeBron and the Lakers, it's a whole different ball game, Marcus.
And I think you make a great point because he's back at home and he got $40-some million. It's like there's nothing for him to be like, I got to go out there and hustle or anything. Like he's already at home. I mean, you're in LA, beautiful state, beautiful weather, and there's nothing that you really need to accomplish, I'm assuming, because he did what I think he was going to achieve in the NBA is getting the triple-double title, if you want to put it like that. But it's really for him, I think he's not as motivated as he was in OKC or even Houston because, like you said, he's at home. I mean, if I'm making $44 million at home, why I didn't go out there and give 110% like I used to? Like there's no motivation.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And also, the thing that really kind of upsets me is you and I were talking specifically about his game. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about his character.
No.
Now, his wife has been getting death threats, the kids. To me, that's gone way and above the beyond the realm of when you have your wife and your kids getting death threats. That's taken it to a whole different level. Westbrook, or whatever. He has done so many things off the court as far as his business ventures and all the things he's contributed to financially to a lot of kids should be talked about so much more, I think, and then stuff because he's not playing up to his caliber. But of course, hey, when you make $40 million, you're going to get the heat. So, it's going to come. I just don't like the fact that him getting death threats and his wife getting death threats. I think that's totally unreal. I just have a problem with that.
Well, when it comes to making that kind of money and your team is struggling, it comes with the territory. And I'm not saying that's right, but it comes with the territory. And for the folks that's out there threatening, people over a basketball game, it's definitely more to life than basketball when it comes to stuff like that. But as far as rooting for your team and wanting your team to succeed, he has to be in that mentality like, I'm back at home. This is the Lakers. Let me bring one home, not only for the Lakers, but for himself. Like, you're at home. Who would not want to win something for their home team?
Exactly.
So I think like Joel, and don't let me be on the Sixers and I played, and let's just say, I played in Indiana most of my career. Then I go back to Philadelphia and play for my Sixers. I'm doing everything I possibly can to bring the championship home to my team.
Exactly. And the thing, I think too, Marcus, I think another one of the major problems that Westbrook is having is the fact that some of the comments. Sorry about that. Some of the comments he's made to the press, like he went to the Lakers with no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all going to play for the 17-time world champion Lakers, and y'all going to tell me you went there with no expectations? Let's see. Carmelo, you, LeBron, the Lakers mean something, and for you to go and say stuff like that doesn't help your cause.
Which is
and then
true.
one time he said after the game, I think one time he said, I ain't worried about this. I'm still going to go home. I'm still going to, which is cool. I don't think you should say that in front of the press because they're not trying to hear that. You know what I mean?
And they got jobs to do just like you got a job to do. And then when you perform badly, you know, you can't take it out on them in a sense because they just doing their job. So, and then let's talk about this too for the Lakers because most, like you said earlier about not having an inside presence, but ain't that what they got Dwight Howard for?
You would think so.
Right. Now, sometimes it comes down to coaching, you know. And if you know that, you know, AD is not going to be here for about 4 to 5 weeks, you would think you'd be playing Dwight Howard more and resting LeBron some instead of having him play center, you know, then run point and everything else. You would think you would flip it and put some of your bigs in there. Like Dwight Howard, give him more run. And I wouldn't have got rid of DeAndre Jordan, but the Sixers picked him up, so I'm not too mad at that.
You know, I want to ask you a question. The other night on this network, I wasn't particularly on out, but I was texting back and forth with Freddie and Pride. And they were talking about the Lakers and the fact that they put a lot of emphasis on Jeannie Buss. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to tell them, you know, Jeannie Buss is the owner and she writes the checks, but she handles the business aspect of the Lakers. That's why she got her brother at the beginning. That's why she had Mitch Kupchak. That's why she got Magic Johnson. That's why she's talking to Phil Jackson right now. Mm-hmm. And then she has everything. I'm like, of course she has. Some say, of course. But I'm saying she's relying on other people to give her some more ideas as to how to run the team. And right now, Pelinka is in that role as far as a coach. Well, he's not coaching Vogels, but as far as a general manager. And I think she leans on his decisions as to how the Lakers are going. And what's your take on that?
Like you said, she cuts the checks, but I believe if she's cutting the checks, she still should have some say-so on what's going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I know she knows what's going on. And sometimes you just can't let, you know, it be, I cut checks, and then I let, you know, the general manager do general manager things. Then I let, you know, talent scouts do that. Sometimes you just got to step in. You got to do it all when it comes to being an owner. And sometimes you got to help them get out their own way, basically. So with that being said, like if they say LeBron put this team together like they say, then she should have had the power to come in and be like, nah, LeBron, that's not going to work. You know, and I think the problem is with that is that, to me, that LeBron's so great that y'all think they could just build any team around him instead of sticking with what works, you know, and what worked was in the bubble, and then they just let all that talent go.
Good point. And Marcus also regarding LeBron is, you know, I guess he had major say-so as far as who he would like to play with. But then when it didn't materialize, he was upset with the Lakers for not making any moves during the trade deadline.
Exactly.
So you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? Hey, they basically told him, look, you got this team together, handle your business.
Handle your business, right. And sometimes, as an owner, you gotta let people stay out their own way. You know, so she is just as culpable as the Lakers being as bad as LeBron is.
And the fact too is the Lakers, well, I know for a fact Magic wanted Tyronn Lue to be the head coach. Mm-hmm. And the Lakers were going to go with it, but they would have to pick his assistants. And that's why he never accepted the job.
But you see what he's doing in LA right now.
What?
So, with no Paul George and no Kawhi.
What? How?
They 3 games above 500?
Yes. I mean, that's
Think
hey,
about it.
that guy ain't no joke, man. You know,
Oh,
I mean, like you said, to play without their superstars and to compete, and then you get Jackson playing out of his mind, and then you got Morris Senior playing out of his mind. So I mean, they're fun to watch as well. You know, what I mean, they're very entertaining, and hopefully, the two guys come back by playoff time.
yeah, but see, once you bring that, like when you got role players playing that well, in my opinion, and then you try to add in two superstars, that takes away from what the role players was doing.
You are absolutely
Once you try
correct.
that, because now the way Reggie Jackson is balling, he needs the ball in his hands, doing what he
Mm-hmm.
do. So to
Mm-hmm.
bring either Kawhi or Paul George back, you're kind of reducing what's working for y'all at this point. You know, because then Kawhi will have the ball in his hands, and I can even tell you if Kawhi would be Kawhi because he ain't played all season. It seemed like
No,
he ain't
not
played
at
one
all.
game this season, did he?
Not one. Not
Right.
one.
So what is he really going to give you? And then Paul George, if you bring him back, he's not the type of player. He ain't the type of star you could just plug right in. He's gonna go get you 30 a game. He got to warm up to you know what he do because he's a streaky shooter. He's not like one of the pure shooters like a Kevin Durant or a Kyrie Irving. So he has to warm back up into it. So you really taking away or what you could do with the players you have if you bring in another superstar because then your whole rotation gets screwed up.
I was just going, man, just read my mind in the fact that Ty now he can actually coach.
Right.
He can actually coach. You know what I mean? So, and as it's proven rewarding for them thus far, I think they're you know they're playing out of their mind. It's fun to watch them play. They're having a very exciting team, and the rotation right now is in sync. And having them two guys is going to throw that sickness right out the door.
And that's what you need too. So that's who you could tell who's a great coach and who isn't. And jumping on coaches, let's talk about Popovich because he did get the record for winning the most games in the NBA as a coach right now. So does that make Coach Popovich the greatest coach of all times, in your opinion?
You know, I'm probably going to have to roll with that, Marcus. The man's won 1,337 games with the same team. Now, you look at all the other coaches, you got Don Nelson's won 1,335. You got Lenny Wilkins, 1,332. Jerry Sloan. Well, he was with one team for the most.
Yeah, he was with Utah.
Yeah.
I think Donnie Nelson, he was with the Mavericks most of his career.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But Greg has been there from day one.
Right.
And to have the longevity that he's had and the respect that he's had, he's also won 4 championships as well. And so if you take that into consideration, you gotta give him some juice. I mean, he's had some great teams, don't get me wrong. But
I thought he got 5.
I think you might be. He might have that makes my point even more valid. The fact if he does have 5, you know what I mean. So to answer your question, yes, I think that you take all things into consideration. I think again, like as you said, with 5 championships, all-time leading record as far as wins are concerned, and again his longevity, I think it goes hand in hand. And I think you have to give him his props.
Right, and here's what I would say, which would make him different from Phil Jackson. Because Phil Jackson, I think, has 12, I believe. 12, 6, 5. Phil Jackson might have 12 or 11 rings, I think, as a coach. But what separates Popovich from Phil Jackson is that Pop's been consistent on being consistent. So without having Kobe or Shaq after Duncan and Ginobili and Parker was going, he still kept San Antonio relevant with like LaMarcus Aldridge and Rudy Gay and DeMar DeRozan. Is like to win with them players still, that's still kind of tough. You know, not having a sexy big name and still able to win like that, that goes more to his coaching than anything else.
And 2 things I think we should consider the fact that I believe that there's an individual right now who would easily have broken that coaching record very easily. I think I know, matter of fact, I can guarantee you will believe me. But he chose to take another route, and that would be Pat Riley.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, he's got 1,200 right now. I mean, come on, you don't think he would have been able to top that?
That record would have been shattered if he stayed.
It would have been gone. It would have been gone. So that's one guy. Now Phil Jackson. Okay, we talk about Phil. Phil, first of all, Phil had a Popovich and Phil. Their careers are totally different in the fact that, first of all, Popovich was with San Antonio for the duration. Phil Jackson started off with the CBA. He coached in the CBA for years. His road to becoming a great coach is I believe, a lot more difficult than what Popovich has done. But then again, as you said, I mean, you coaching Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, the knucklehead Rodman. But I mean, he's had the talent around him as well. But you know something? When you have that much talent, it doesn't make it that much easier because you're dealing with a lot of egos.
Yes, you are dealing with a lot of egos and stuff like that.
He had the ability to deal with all the issues that came up with the Lakers, number one, and Chicago as well. So I got to give him a lot of props for that. His methods were kind of crazy. What kind of religious stuff he used to do with the books and sending players books and reading and all kind of crazy stuff, but it worked. It worked, right. And he kept, not just him, but he kept. You have to give. He kept Robin in check for the most part. He kept Robin in check.
He did keep Robin in check for the most part. Yeah. I'm not taking nothing away from Phil Jackson greatness. By all means, I'm just highlighting the point that to be consistent without having great talent for Popovich would, in my book, make him the greatest coach of all times in that sense, because the longevity he's been doing it with San Antonio for this long, different players, older players, younger players. You have to coach different styles on top of that while doing it just to stay relevant for 20 years.
And if you notice, if you look back, a lot of players that played for him and went to other places after the fact, their careers have grown even more. I'll just name one, Kawhi. I'll just give you that one. But there are others who have left playing for him, but because of the system that he employs has been very beneficial to a lot of players that play for San Antonio, because they learn the real way to how to play basketball, especially the NBA. And a lot of players have grown and learned so much from him. And if you notice, I haven't heard anybody talk anything negative about Popovich at all. We know he's tough. Oh, he's tough. He's hardcore. But I know he loves his players, and the players love him.
Well, you never heard nothing negative about Pop. That goes to show you that you're able to coach men, basically. And that shows, when you could be that tough and that about your business, winning games, and still be a lovable guy like he is from what we hear on radio and TV and stuff like that. That goes to show you that how great he is as a person and as a coach.
And, also to the fact that, basically, the owner put so much responsibility on Pop, and he's accepted it, and he basically runs the team. Right. The owner has really very little say as to what's going on because of the trust factor that he has with Pops as well. And, I remember his career when he first started. I remember quite a bit. And it's a true testament to his dedication and his knowledge. I don't know if you remember. Well, that he started coaching before the NBA and the Army. I don't know if you know.
Yes, I did hear that story. That he was coaching the Army. Yep. Yeah,
exactly. So he had that built-in, I guess you want to call it, desire to again, as you said, coach men because of his military background and the way he conducts himself as far as the team is concerned. And he's done, and he's another guy who's done so many things off the court as far as what we know, as far as the fact that he has been one of the front leaders, front runners in having the African American grow in the world of basketball. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but he's done so much fighting for the cause, and you got to give him a lot of credit for that.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and that just goes back to who he is, and you could just tell now. If I was in the NBA and I was playing, I think I probably would want Coach Popovich to be my coach my entire career.
Yeah,
now, that doesn't mean I want to be playing in San Antonio my whole career, but if I had him as a coach my whole career, then definitely would be the coach. And then to even go on the U.S. side, on the Olympic side, I believe he's been coaching that too for a while, or been around it for a while. And that's how you could tell when players grow. When you go on an Olympic team with a coach like that, and you can see the player development, that's how these guys are able to freely move and get acquainted with one. It's not about just building the super teams. These dudes build relationships through U.S. basketball, through coaches and everything else. So when they got the opportunity, to play with each other, you can kind of see how Pop helped that develop in a sense with the U.S. men's basketball, him and Coach K.
You are absolutely correct. Again, and then now, look where that has taken us now, because we now know who's going to be running the Olympic team. We got Grant Hill. So you know what I'm saying? So the progress has been substantial, and it's due to those guys as well. So I'm really proud of those guys for taking the stand that they've taken, and I think the USA is going to be in good hands with Grant Hill.
Right, and I believe so too. Now, speaking of Grant Hill, because this is one thing that always fascinated me, that he never gets mentioned in with the greats because his career was kind of cut short due to injuries. Now, for me, I'm gonna ask you this: who would be one of your favorite players? Who would be your favorite player if they haven't got injured? Like,
I got the answer. Matter of fact, I was just talking about this on another show. I'm gonna tell you who I believe, and I tell people this. Some I just say, look, you can believe me or don't. I'm gonna say, just watch the video. I'm gonna let you know who it is. I'm gonna give you a little pre-up to it. 3-time ACC Player of the Year. 1-year Player of the Year, won a national championship, went on to become one of the players who were one of the league's leading scorers while he was playing, and ended up scoring one of the top 4 to score over 70 points in the game. I'm giving you a hint. So anyway, so this man's career, as you said, injured. Unfortunately, this guy happened to have some issues off the court, and he ended up at a nightclub in Seattle, and he fell down the stairs, and his career kind of quickly ended. But I'll let you know who's he talking about. I'm gonna let you know right now. His name is David Thompson.
David Thompson.
Oh, see. Yeah, you got it. So look, I'm gonna tell you how good David Thompson is. And you can look up his video. Michael Jordan in his Hall of Fame speech. You know how you have someone come in that walks you up to stage and David Thompson was there for Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan, as you know, is from North Carolina, and David played at North Carolina State. He had a 48-inch vertical leap. He was in a dunk contest with Dr. J.
Okay.
1976. I don't know if you remember that. But anyway.
Way before my time, Con. Way before my time.
No, I'm sorry. I'm old as dirt, man. I told you they call me the historian. Now you know why.
Take all this basketball knowledge while we're doing fast break. So continue.
All right. Okay. So again, David Thompson. I pleased when maybe not today. Just look up him. Y'all going to be fascinated. This guy, check it out. Now you see Kyrie, right? Tremendous ball handling skills. Even one of my best players of all time, Isaiah. All them, you name everybody. LeBron, I don't care who you name, they had more than one go-to move. David Thompson had one move only. And this is what it was. He catch the ball, he fake left, go right, and jump over anybody and everybody. If you look at they got a Sports Illustrated article when they played against UCLA and Bill Walton. His hands above the top of the square blocking Bill Walton. You can look it up too as well. I got a chance to see him in person at the Boston Garden 4 times. And I left there. I couldn't even talk. I was shaking my head. I'm going to tell you, before the game, we got there about an hour and a half before the game. And I'm in the stands. Nobody's there yet. But him and another guy by the name of Anthony Roberts, who played at Oral Roberts, they were on the court. And they decided, hey, let's do this. Because Anthony Roberts had a great vertical leap too as well. So what they did was they would try to dunk. Who could get the highest without touching the rim? It's crazy. Crazy. But with that to answer your question, to me, that guy, if he didn't get hurt, he was with the Denver Nuggets. He was played in the ABA first before he went to the NBA. And him and Dr. J used to go at it like crazy, man. Them highlights were phenomenal. So, but to answer your question, and I tell anybody and everybody this, Mike, you don't know what you're talking. Just look at the video. Just look at the video. I don't have to say no more. And it's a shame that he got into the drug scene, cut short his career. But I think he played 7 years in the NBA. He played 4 in the ABA. Rookie of the year his first year. Came out of North Carolina State after they won the NCAA title against Bill Walton and UCLA back at that time. But to answer your question, I'm glad you asked that. Without any hesitation, David Thompson.
So basically, he played an average NBA career. If you 4 years ABA and then 7 years NBA, that's kind of like an average.
Yeah.
NBA career.
He ended up playing again.
If it wasn't for injuries, what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. He ended up playing with the Denver Nuggets, and then because of his off the court issues, he went to Seattle Supersonics, and I guess he might have continued his off the court things, and it ruined his career. But right now, I must admit, I contacted his agent. This is maybe about 8 years ago, and I tried to have him come and speak here in New Bedford, Mass, at the New Bedford Boys and Girls Club, and we had it all set. Financially, it was a little bit difficult, the finances to get him to come here, but I definitely wanted to do that. I spoke with his agent, and it didn't materialize, but that would have been a great thing as well.
Yeah, for me, would be more so my time. I got quite a few players: Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, obviously, and definitely Brandon Roy. I think Brandon Roy, when he was playing for Portland, he made Portland fun to watch before Dame got there.
That dude was nasty. Right. That dude was off the hook.
Man, you talk about a nice size guard, handles, can shoot, pull up game, mid range, could dunk on you. Brandon Roy had all the talent in the world, and the fact that he just constantly stayed hurt was a problem. And I enjoyed watching him play at that time I love watching Portland play on top of my Sixers at the time. And for him to be injured like that, it really robbed the game of basketball, in my opinion.
You are so absolutely right. That dude had a career, a future ahead of him, and that was through no fault of his own. You know, as opposed to David Thompson, who made those negative choices. His was not anything related to off the court issues.
Right.
And he was just the guy could jump, he could shoot, he played very good defense.
Yes.
Loved him. I mean, yeah, that's a good one. I have to give it. Yep, I would have to agree that's a good one.
And then Tracy McGrady is another one, I believe, with all that talent in the world. If healthy, probably would have been mentioned up there with Jordan in the LeBron GOAT conversation. Because what he was able to do at 6'8", about LeBron, about 6'8", probably 245. handle the ball, athletic, could dunk on you. He had a nice jumper too. And he goes off of what? 20, 15 points in like 10 seconds, 30, like.
Oh yeah, you saw that? Yeah, yeah. I remember they were showing that the other day.
Right. So with all that talent, even in Orlando, I watched him play in Orlando. I didn't watch him play in Toronto when he first got started, because Toronto, they was battling with my Sixers and all that when Iverson days and stuff like that. So I would catch glimpses of Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter while they was together before he went to Orlando. And then when he went to Orlando, that's when he really started balling out, when he got on his own. But then that's when the injuries really started happening to that man. It's like, God, there had been some nice battles in the East back then with Vince, Tracy, Ray Allen, Iverson, Paul Pierce, like all these dudes.
Off the hook, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And Tracy McGrady should have been definitely up there. I think he would have been mentioned with the Jordans and the LeBrons right now if his career would have stayed as healthy as Kobe's. Hell, even Vince, because Vince played for what, 22 seasons?
Yeah.
So if he would just stay healthy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a great point that you brought up. Tracy McGrady. Now, this might be a knock. I bet a lot of people don't know that he led the league in scoring more than once. I bet you a lot of people don't even know. So maybe because, like, for example, I never really got to see Orlando play too much. I didn't really get to see the Houston Rockets play them out here anyway. So maybe because his game, well, the team he's played on were kind of under the radar. A lot of people, he didn't get noticed and got the respect that, like you're saying, like, Jordan or Kobe. But as far as talent-wise is concerned, off the hook. Matter of fact, they had a little thing going about 2 weeks ago where they had him come on stage, and then they had Iverson. And they went, how I guess they call it versus. I guess that's versus. Yeah. But they had one with him and Iverson. And I'm gonna tell you something, Marcus. I know about Iverson, of course, but I'm sitting back watching all these highlights of McGrady.
Oh man.
Phenomenal.
I'll tell you, and that's the thing, when injuries take a hold of people like that, like it robs the NBA of more than what it's shown, because you could just go out there, you could watch Tracy McGrady throw up 30, 40 points and just be in awe of his ball handling, the way he shoots. He could pull up and he'll dunk on you, like gives you all of it. And he plays defense too. Mm-hmm. So when guys that get injured that has all that talent and you don't get to watch them play for 15, 16 seasons, it robs you, of what the NBA could have been or how everything else would have shaped up when it comes to the landscape of the NBA if these dudes would have just stayed healthy,
Now I gotta ask you another question, right? Derrick Rose. When he first started, he was absolutely phenomenal. He had that very explosive type game, which probably contributed to his injuries. And now we have this individual right now playing in the NBA who kind of reminds me of him and a little bit of Iverson. And I'm wondering what your take is on how you think his career may develop, because this dude's off the hook. He does things that I don't know if he can sustain that. I'm talking about Ja. I don't know if he can sustain the way he plays the game, because his game is about explosiveness and the same thing like Derrick, and he'll take crazy chances and try to dunk on anybody and everybody. I'm wondering how his career will be sustained.
Here's what I would say, that where he would probably have more sustainability than Derrick Rose is that Derrick Rose came in a time before the big men were just almost obsolete. They played the paint. They was in there, and he was going up. You're trying to be a man among boys, going into that paint. Derrick Rose, right? And then sometimes he got the best of him, sometimes he didn't. So where Ja has the advantage of right now is there's really no true big man that's going to go out there and whack him on his butt when he goes to the hole, or anything like that. He can just pretty much freely go do a 360 dunk like he's been doing with no hesitation, And then I think as far as his athleticism goes, I believe he's smart enough not to do what Westbrook done. which is work on his game.
Right.
And that would help him more in the long run. Because his jumper's not that smooth, but he can shoot the three when he wants to.
Yes, he can. And the fact, too, is that the way the NBA game is played now, because you've got these individuals now who are such good shooters from damn near half court.
Right.
That opens the floor up, and that gives players like Ja a lot more freedom to move.
Exactly.
More of a court to go do what they do. And I think that would probably be less troublesome than if you played back with Derrick Rose's time, or when Pat Ewing and them played. When it was war inside, they won't let you come in the paint. Try going to paint on them.
That's my thing with Derrick Rose, is that sometimes when you got all that talent and you that athletic, that you don't choose to work on your mid-range game or a pull-up jumper or anything like that. And to have all that athleticism to match with a pull-up jumper or a mid-range, to go with the handles, you would save yourself a whole lot of, pain and tears on your knees and ankles, because you don't have to go dunk on everybody all the time. Like, you don't have to go challenge Roy Hibbert. You don't have to go challenge Dwight Howard in his prime. You don't have to go challenge like an Andrew Bynum or anything like that. Pull up, This is where I give Kyrie some credit too, because he uses him and Steph, because they use their handles to get where they want, and then they pull up, shoot, get to where they want, pull up, shoot, or dribble, pull up, shoot. I'm quite sure if Kyrie wanted to, he could probably dunk on you, because most players, they all have some type of athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry too, and this is why I give Chris Paul credit. Like, the realm of your game, and you stay to it. So for them type of cats, they could pull up from anywhere with the handles. I wish D Rose would have spent more time working on his jump shot because he has the handles to go with this athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the handles and the athleticism, then you put it to where you could pull up like a Kyrie or a Steph. His career would have been so much greater. He probably been talked as the best point guard in the game if he was able to just work on the mid-range more.
Like, I agree with you wholeheartedly in the fact that we got an NBA ball player right now who is the king of the mid-range. And to watch him, I watch him. Again, he don't come on in many games on TV, nationally on TV. But if you watch him, he is phenomenal.
Yep.
He has the least amount of movement, but his movements are effective. I'm talking about DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, and the thing about it, he can dunk on you.
He can
dunk on you too.
Oh, but he could. Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so the mid range is a beautiful thing. The three ball is sexy, but if you're able to consistently hit a mid range, that means you get to anywhere on your spot and pull up between 5 to 18 feet, and it's going down. It's not as easy as it looks that someone will make them look trying to shoot like that.
And you brought up about Chris Paul. He's another guy who's had so many injuries that affected him maybe obtaining a championship, as we know, when he played with the Houston Rockets and Clippers. He always seems to be getting hurt at the wrong moment.
Wrong time. Yep.
But now you talk about pull up. This man, he runs like his own orchestra. I mean, he dictates everything, and the plays can feed off of that. But I mean, he could take you mid-range. He's not a three-point shooter per se, but he can hit that. But he makes other players around him better, man. So that's the key to me. That typifies what kind of a player you are. Not that you just did things for yourself, but how do you make others around you better?
And that goes back to some old shows that we do when I talk about, like, some of my favorite players would be like a Chris Webber and like a LeBron, like dudes that can go get their own, but get their team involved. And that's why I always say Chris Webber is one of my favorite players, because at 6'10", 290, he can handle the ball, he can pass, vision, mid-range, post up, shoot the three a little bit. Like, to me, that's basketball. You know what I'm saying? And I could watch that all day long when it comes to stuff like that.
he had so much talent, but again, I gotta keep saying this. He played a lot of his career was in Sacramento.
Right.
So a lot of us didn't get a chance to see him on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
But he put up tremendous numbers coming out of Michigan with the Fab Five. I mean, I used to see his high school highlights, and he that guy was phenomenal, man. Phenomenal.
And my only problem is that the Sixers got him at the tail end of his career where he stayed hurt. So him and Iverson would have been a good combination if Chris Webber.
Oh yes,
5 years earlier in his career. I mean, 5 years earlier than what we did. That would have been a nice little lethal combination. So, but to pivot to all of the scoring that's going on right now, a whole lot of 50-point games coming from all different directions and different players. The dude from Detroit, I don't know nothing about, just dropped 51.
Sadiq Bey.
Yeah. I don't know what game or none of that stuff. I just know he in Detroit. So my question to you is, who has gotten in the water with all these 50-point games, Con?
There's like 18 people who've gotten 50 points this year.
Yep.
Crazy. You got Sadiq Bey, 51. You got Carl Anthony Towns, he got 60. Kyrie got 60. Trey got 56. LeBron had back-to-back 50 games. Jason Tatum, 54. Kevin Durant, 53. Ja Morant, 52. Luka, 51. Steph, 50. Jaylen Brown, 50. And, of course, Embiid got his 50 as well. So I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, all these players getting all these points. It's different. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't know if that's the thing now. Everybody's going to try. Sadiq Bey would never. I watched him play quite a bit, and he would never even take enough shots to get 30 points before this. He just broke out and went nuts because he doesn't take that much.
He was like 10 for 17.
Yeah,
he 51. That's
he didn't like that.
I don't even know who he is. Just from what I see on highlights.
He's a god.
Right.
Small forward guy. He got another one, very athletic. But, you know, he's on a team with Jeremy Grant, who takes most of the points for Detroit. Right. So he doesn't really get an opportunity to shoot that much.
Would have dropped 50 first.
Right.
On Detroit. But, yeah, this dude. And then I would say that the goal for Karl Anthony Towns to go get 60 while giving you 17 rebounds, that's impressive.
And you know, he's had a history. Well, I guess a lot of his downfall. I mean, he's always been a great scorer, but you know, his reputation, I should say, was that he was soft.
Right.
And that's why you know, a couple of players left. What's my man? Butler, Jimmy Butler, was like, nah, he's too soft. I gotta bounce. I gotta get out of here. And that's why he left, because of the fact that he felt that Cat was he didn't play with enough heart.
Right.
And I think Cat well, and then of course, you know, Cat had a lot of very emotional situations this past season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, his mom from COVID. I think
yes.
COVID.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and now he came back. He's in a lot better shape, and right. I think he's finally getting back. You know, getting over. Well, you never get over it, but I mean, he's dealing with the fact of what transpired earlier, and he's just having fun. I mean, he won the 3-point shooting contest. You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. What makes his 60-point performance, and then Kyrie's, but for him to go out there, give you 60, and then turn around and give you 17 boards, that just let you know he's more engaged than just scoring. Like he's out there playing ball, basically, and not just going out there shooting up 30 shots and getting the 60. To go and like you said, rebounds, it's a beautiful thing when you can. Like if Kyrie would have gave you 60 and 10, that's a beautiful thing. You know,
I agree. Also, the fact that I broke down the list of all these guys who have gotten 50 or more. And to be honest with you, I'm going to say maybe like only 2 or 3, maybe 4 that play actual defense. You know, these guys are more offensive minded. You know, you got Embiid, who's like, he's up there in the rebounds and he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's well known as a defensive player. But most of the other ones, these guys are not known for defense at all.
No. Well, at least
And
not
I'll tell you
LeBron.
what,
Not his stage of his career. He's not known for defense.
and I'm gonna tell you something. I've been watching. I've been a Laker fan, and as great as LeBron is playing this year, as far as individually, I'm telling you, you gotta watch my man. He don't go back on defense. He don't even really try to play defense that much. I know he has to expend so much on the offensive end. I understand that. And of course, in the league 19 years, you gotta expect he ain't going, like you said, Father Time's tough. So you can't expect him to be like he was when he was 22 and 21. No. And I get that. I understand that. But I don't know, the Lakers, man. I don't know if you want to talk about them.
No, we had our segment on the Lakers, so we just gonna leave it at that.
All right. I'm good with that.
Right. Because I do want to jump back into the fact that, in fact, I'll go back to LeBron again, because to be 37, year 19, and to even have the energy to even go get you 56 points in the game at that age is impressive too. But I can see Karl Anthony Towns giving you 60, Kyrie doing it, all these young guys doing it because they're built for it right now. But for LeBron to do it like that, to go back to back, I believe, that's impressive within itself, because that just lets you know you literally have no help and that you have to shoulder all this load just to be relevant. Even though you're not even going to be in the playoffs, hell, not even make the play-in. But the fact that he's still going out there on the offensive end and trying, I just give him some credit for that.
You have to. I mean, again, like you said, it's one thing about LeBron. If you follow his career, my man's been a winner. Mm-hmm. He knows how to win, and he's carried teams to be able to win. Look at the teams he had at Cleveland. Not very good.
Not very good.
But it must be tough on being on a team that is so bad, and for him to, I don't know how he's doing it, Right. I mean, oh my God. I'm glad Freddie ain't.
I want to give a shout out to Luka, because I've been watching a few of his games that's been on national TV, and him dropping that weight and playing without Porzingis took off another 200 pounds off that man's shoulders. And he is looking like he could be the next face of the NBA, the way he's balling right now. And he's like 22, I believe. They can just turn 22.
I think so.
And to be balling like that against grown men, and actually holding his own against the Kevin Durant's and the Ja Morants and the Jason Tatums. Hell, even when he played the Sixers, like just getting buckets and the go get. I think he had a 40-some point game to turn around and drop 50.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that you're the main focus on the team and still go be able to do that. It's a beautiful thing too.
The thing I think that helped him out, number one, of course, is losing all that weight. That's going to add to his career. And that was number one. I think getting rid of Porzingis also opened up things for him as well. And I think they're playing so good together. And what I like about them, and this is kind of like a personal thing, because I knew his dad very well. And to see him. No, I'm not. I'm talking about someone else on that team.
Okay.
I'm talking about Brunson.
Okay.
I remember his dad when his dad played at Temple. I'm gonna go old school on you. I don't want to do that. But anyway, and to see how well he's playing as well, he's killing them.
Yeah, Brunson is playing. Yes,
he's playing. I'm telling. Hey,
and he's what, 5? He's what, 5'6"?
No,
5.
He's about 6'2".
Okay, oh, he's a little shorter than that. But yeah, he out there balling, and then the pickup of Dinwiddie probably was an underrated move in the NBA this year.
Dinwiddie, man, to me, I don't know how come he It's been going team to team. I don't understand it, man. That kid, he can play. He can fly.
Well, the
I think
Nets
it's
gave
really
up on
happening
him a
right
little
now.
too early,
Yeah.
to make moves. And then I think he went to no, it wasn't Indiana. He went to Cleveland, or was it New York?
He went to New York, and then he was
I
at
think New
Detroit.
York.
He was at Washington
Right.
as well.
And Washington. Then he got shipped to. I think he a better fit in Dallas right now because he makes a great number 2 option for Luka. He doesn't
Yes.
really need the ball like that.
Yep.
He can. I mean, he's a streaky shooter, but he can put the ball in the basket too. So I think for Dallas, I think they're going in the right direction right now. And me personally, I'm a fan of Jason Kidd. Always been a fan of Jason Kidd from when he was, playing for the Nets, even Dallas, and it's back in his career. And to have that type of coach as a point guard or a person that handles the ball for Luka is even better than a Rick Carlisle, I should say, who was more defensive minded. And Luka's not really giving you no defense right now. But to have Jason Kidd as his coach really unlocked his potential, I believe, too.
And what showed me something the other day, I think it was against the Celtics, matter of fact. Luka, because all eyes are on him, as you know, he went to the cup. He was at the foul line, extended, and he drew like 3 people around him. And I think before Dinwiddie got there, he would have still took the shot. And you know what he did? He kicked it right back out to Dinwiddie. Bing, hits the 3. Game over.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? I think that's going to help him out too, because normally I guess he felt the pressure that he had to shoot it even 3 people on him, but now he got some help. He got a lot of help.
And then I believe when Tim Hardaway Jr. gets back, that's going to be even better for him. So Dallas probably going to be one of the sleeper teams in the West. That people probably don't see getting past the first round, but I think they might get to the Western Conference Finals.
And you know something? They're 12-1 in their division. They're 12-1, and they were on an 8-game winning streak until y'all Philly beat them. Yep. So they were playing very well. You know what I mean? So, but you're right. I think they're moving in the right direction.
Now, to end this show off, I want to talk about Ben Simmons real quick, because now it comes out that has a real back problem. They don't know he's going to even play this season. So you thinking that trade right now was a good trade for Brooklyn, or you think that they always had in their mind to play for next year as far as Simmons goes?
Good question, Marcus. That's a very good question. I think when they wanted to obtain Simmons, they had expectations that he would be playing at some point this season. I don't know if it's back, or I don't know, his back, his emotional thing, depression, which is nothing to play with, by the way. So you got to take that real seriously. But was it a good move? I'm going to tell you what I said when it first happened. I think it was a good move for your Philly right now. But in the long term, I think it's going to be more beneficial to the Nets, because they end up getting another big man in Drummond. They end up getting Seth Curry.
And he's balling right now.
He's
balling.
Man,
he looked like the Andre Drummond when he first got to Detroit. It's amazing.
So the Nets, so they picked up some big men, and now they got a spawn-on shooter in Seth. I think that's going to help them out as well. And they picked up Drazen, Goran Dragic, whatever his name is. They picked him up. I think he's going to be helpful as well. I think, they had envisioned Simmons to be that type of player who could play either between the 1 and the 5, play a 2, 3. He can do a multiple of things. He'll make him a lot bigger. Defensively, to be a lot better. And he doesn't have to worry about shooting so much, because he has shooters around him. And he got that guy. That guy, I was watching him again tonight, and I'm shaking my head. That guy, I don't care who you put on him. I don't care. He's going to get a shot off anytime he wants. They were double teaming him today. Talking about Kevin Durant. They were double teaming him, and he just pulled. I don't care. So, I mean, it's always good when the offense breaks down and you just give him the ball.
Right. That's good for basketball to watch too, when stuff like that happens. What's up, Mike? We about to wrap the show up in a minute. But yeah, so that's my thing. So I think with Ben Simmons, I think it's more mental right now. I'm sure playing in Philly is tough on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's cut out to play in Philadelphia. I'm sorry. You know, we're tough. We want to see our team win, and we're going to let you know about it when you effing up.
Yes, sir.
You know, so I don't know how much of an impact it had on his mental that it got to his back, but I never known him to have no back issues while he was playing in Philadelphia. So even though I am a Philadelphia guy, but just to see that trade go down and he's not playing, that kind of would rob us of having a good series versus the Nets because we won't really have no animosity to, you know, get us going as Philly fans to put towards somebody other than Kevin Durant, you know, and him and Embiid do got this little you know, respect going on for each other. But not like we would with Ben Simmons if he's not playing.
Right.
So
I agree.
That's my whole thing. You know, we need, as Philly fans, we need somebody to hate, you know, like Scarface. You know what I'm saying? We need that bad guy. And that's what Simmons would be to us. And it's like, he's kind of robbing us of that right now. So, matter of fact, did the Nets even win tonight?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They did.
So they won tonight. They still in the 8th seed. So
yes. I tell you what, though, I guarantee you a lot of teams are not going to want to play them in the first round.
No, so we'll do that to Miami or Chicago to beat up on Brooklyn or let them beat each other up. Hell, I think Milwaukee, are they in second place now?
Milwaukee's in second.
Right. So
Philly's in third. Celtics in fourth.
We're in third. I think we're like 2 games behind Miami for first.
2.5.
Yeah, so we're not really trying to chase the first seed right now. We're good. Yeah, we're good in the third. We're good in the 3rd seed. So, and we are definitely we if we happen to see Brooklyn in the playoffs, it won't be till the 3rd round. If I'm getting that correctly,
I think you're right.
If they beat the 1st seed, yeah, we'll catch them in the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's going to be exciting.
Right.
I'm looking forward to the playoffs this year for sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to the playoffs this year because it can go either way in both conferences. All the teams are good. All the teams are excited to watch. As a matter of fact, before we get off, that's what I want to jump on real quick, Con, is that the NBA probably is the most exciting it's ever been with all this talent and all these teams that's playing right now. And when the LeBrons and the Carmelos, the Chris Pauls, the DeRozans, the Currys, they all in their 30s. The game is only going to get better with these younger guys that's coming in right now.
100%. The talent level that's coming in now, and you get these young bucks coming in. You got these young guys. I know we got to close. You got these young guys now who are forgoing college to go play in the G League. Remember, you already know what I'm talking about. So I think, like you said, the NBA's in good hands.
Yeah,
they're going to be in good hands. And another thing too, what's good is a lot of these young players, you're going to get them for sharp money. You ain't got to pay them $40 million.
You're going to be paying astronomical numbers for these young cats coming into the league. No. So, most definitely, Con, it was nice, getting with you this Friday, doing fast break. We'll catch up with Ray and Chris probably next week, hopefully. But if not, we're going to run this back.
Hey, no problem. I enjoyed the show. Hey, it's great shooting, with you, man. You know the game very well. You are very knowledgeable. And we're going to have some fun.
Oh, yeah. So to that, my friend, you have a great weekend.
You too as well. Take care, everybody. God bless.